With Riot's Valorant on the rise, a lot of skilled professionals that played CS, for example Swag, who is banned from high events like majors, have decided to test their luck and go into Valorant. However, this doesn't just go for players who are retired, washed up, or banned, but a lot of young stars, especially in the North American region, have decided to switch over towards the brand new competitive shooter. And this poses a big issue for the integrity and competitiveness of North American CS in the years to come. Some of the bigger names that have switched over to Valorant in the past few weeks from the North American scene are Food, Zellsis, Tens, and Wardell. A lot of these players were very promising and had quite bright futures in Counter-Strike if they were to keep up the current level. Players like Wardell, for example, already being linked with a few big teams in the past due to his performances for Ghost, led by Steel, against a few big teams on LAN, and Zellsis, who also obviously stood in for Cloud9 at the major and performed fairly well. While not setting the world alight, he definitely showed potential, and just like the rest of these players, was still fairly young and had a long way to go. And they could definitely have reached the top of an North American CS, given the right time and dedication. Now here is where the issue begins to arise. While currently North America does have teams such as Liquid, EG, potentially even Gen G / Cloud9 competing near the top of Counter-Strike right now, as you all know, a career in esports can be short. A player who currently is at the top is not guaranteed to be there in like a year's time, which is why talent needs to build around the region to replace the players who fall off, who retire. Now, the players that are moving to Valorant were some of the, you could say, next players to go into the big teams, whether if someone stopped being as good or retired. Now, without them, there is much less talent available to the teams to pick up to replenish their rosters to keep competing, and therefore we may see another era of North American CS being irrelevant as teams constantly recycle the same players, similar to French CS, in an attempt to try and be relevant again and compete. Now, I am not saying that there is no talent available in North America to replenish talent on the top teams. There is obviously MDL and advanced players who are young, motivated, and talented. However, if you are in the Counter-Strike scene and you follow the esports, you know that the level of MDL in North America is nowhere near the level of MDL in Europe, which is why we may be facing in the next year or so, next few years, a shortage of top American teams, as the talent will take a longer time to develop to the level of the European players. Now, the issues do not stop there. One of the main reasons Zellsis stated that he left Counter-Strike is due to the lack of support from organizations for lower tier teams. Now, as most of North America's talent will now be condensed into advanced and MDL, those players may leave for the exact same reasons. Those teams are usually uncontracted, don't make any money, and as they play in advanced and MDL at much higher level CS than the average person, they do have to practice long hours in order to compete and try to keep getting better. Now, without support of an organization, that can be extremely hard to maintain. And as Riot seems to be pushing Valorant esports the same way as they push League of Legends esports, small organizations may be more inclined to pick up players who they can tell have had experience in at least lower level CS and try get lucky and get them into the higher leagues and tournaments. Now, these players may see Valorant as a game a lot easier to get into at a high level than Counter-Strike, simply because the game is brand new. There is no set meta, there are no legendary players, there are no high level teams, and therefore anyone could make the mark on the start of the game by, giving it a go. And since the game is free, and you already spent hundreds of hours, thousands of hours into Counter-Strike, and the mechanical skills transfer over fairly well, all you have to do is learn how agents and powers work, and you can definitely be a competing team if you play that high level MDL or even advanced, because not everyone has strategies. People don't know how to play the game yet, and these players may just wish to take the chance in that game instead of Counter-Strike, because the chances are much higher, because, well, it's simply just a new game. Now, if these things continue going the way they are now, as I said earlier, we may go back to an era where North American CS is irrelevant, where the teams are no longer going for championships, they're not going for major finals, they're once again going to just get out the groups like the Cloud9 teams of old, COGs just years ago, where North America was just that region that, like, well, maybe they can make playoffs this tournament. Well, that's no longer what North America is. North America has won a major. North America has won many tournaments. Liquid was the best team in the world for a long time. And for North American Counter-Strike fans, they surely don't want to go back to wishing that their favorite team gets out of the tournament's group stage and they actually get to play in the arena, because that's obviously not fun. So for the sake of the North American fans, I really do hope that the situation calms down and a lot less players move over to Valorant. I mean, since the game only really just started, well, the game is in beta, the game hasn't even come out yet. A lot of players may return before, tournaments start, before the Counter-Strike season is properly back on again, because obviously the epidemic. But for now, it's looking bleak for North American Counter-Strike in the future. Now, the same hasn't happened for Europe. I haven't actually heard of any like big player in the European scene or an up-and-coming star that is going to Valorant. The only person that we may be losing is potentially Scream, but then again, Scream hasn't really been able to get on the team for like a while now, so maybe it's better for his career to move to Valorant. Even though I am quite a big Scream fan, I do like enjoy watching him play. Nevertheless, North American Counter-Strike may be facing quite a large skill shortage in the coming years, and I really do hope that some new players emerge in order to keep the scene alive and competing, because we want to see the best competition possible as fans. That goes for anything, any esport, any football, any sport. We want to see the best competition. So I think I'm going to end this video right here. Thank you all for watching. If you made it this far, like, comment, subscribe. I'll catch you in the next one. Goodbye.